It's disturbing, isn't it? Liz Truss in Australia, like the Miriam Margolyes show, gone slightly wrong, fearlessly lambasting Keir Starmer in his supposed elitist luxury lifestyle, all the while displaying the most kenodoxic stance of any former Prime Minister. Imagine the chutzpah, the telodynamic mind at work, having imploded Britain's finances during her own premiership, now abroad, preaching fiscal morality to anyone willing to listen. Fiscal morality from the lady who opined over Kwasi Kwarteng's prodigious package, or at least hoping that those would listen with the fortitude to overlook the paradox of Liz Truss's personality. Truss is quick to accuse Starmer of cozying up to the elites while clad ironically in the tailored trappings of her own conservative bubble. Apparently Starmer's supposed green dream is nothing short of economic harikari, hastening Britain's downfall with policies that not only disarm the economy but also open the floodgates to foreign dependency. According to Liz, it's as if Starmer sees carbon reduction as Britain's greatest threat, a notion she counters with the gravitas of a former leader, as though her brief premiership wasn't a masterclass in teetering fantasy economics. The point is, much of what she says is worth hearing, but from her. And then there's the bureaucratic blob, the ubiquitous spectre Liz claims Starmer has unleashed further. This faceless bureaucracy, apparently empowered since Blair's reforms, now shackles Britain to regulations over reform. Yet the irony here is rich. Didn't Truss's own hasty deregulations and budget cuts, the mini-budget, manage to spook both investors and the public? One can only marvel at the bravado required to preach against bureaucratic inertia after leaving a legacy of near-cataclysmic market instability. Truss's rhetoric is impressive for its scope and selective amnesia. There's no shortage of pot and kettle metaphors in her verbose takedown, though one can't help but chuckle. Here stands a politician lambasting someone else's elitism and red tape reliance, while her own leadership held the unique distinction of imploding before it almost began. Indeed, the audacity borders on the absurd. It's as if she's daring the public to remember her tenure as something it certainly was not, stable, logical, or particularly green. It was green. It was green with the shade of vomit, and we have all suffered as a result, with mortgages puked out by the madness of Liz Truss. As I say, it's not that she's necessarily saying stuff which doesn't need to be said. It's that, why is she saying it? Why is she given the airtime? She was on GB News pontificating the other day. Now suddenly I'm about to say something and I can't remember what she was pontificating about. It's so she was pontificating about how much Keir Starmer must have known about the identity and the intricacies of the Southport stabbings and the riots, and didn't say. Well, he didn't say because he had discretion in a way that Liz Truss clearly has not. Liz Truss, it's like the American presidency has been dogged with discussions about garbage. But listening to Liz Truss, frankly, is like opening a waste paper bin and just watching all the shredded paper somehow or other miraculously reassemble, but not in the right order. And it doesn't mean that what she's saying is necessarily without purpose, without substance. And it had substance at one time. It may have substance again, but the way she puts it together and her background makes it nonsensical. This is a person who should have taken a vow of silence the moment she left office.